Hello and welcome to the Build with Bear Workshop. My name is Pat Bear. I'm here to build a Lego set. I'm also here to hang out with all of you. And I'm going to start things off by throwing the Bear Cave, the Lego, the site, the Tier 2 blue emote into chat. If you are currently a subscriber, you can reply with those emotes. If you are not yet a subscriber, you can say hi. You can use other people's emotes if you feel like being a lurker. This is your opportunity to go ahead and lurk, because that will be totally okay. It is a Monday. I did not stream on Saturday. I took Saturday night off to talk about wrestling. More on that later. The last time I streamed with you, it was a Thursday, and I was pissed off. Hey, Lashbrook. Hey, Lord Crashton. Welcome, welcome. I was mad on Thursday because I was having internet troubles. Now, the VOD seemed fine, and in fact, actually things seemed okay on your end. My upload was fine. I was having problems where my dashboard, so I use the Twitch dashboard, which gives me a preview of what the stream looks like, the stream preview, and has chat, and it has a bunch of commands that I can do for moderation and things like that, some quick actions, a bunch of things and things. Just everything you were seeing during the stream was annoying, says Little Crashman. Yes. So that was Thursday. Now what happened earlier on Thursday was my internet was just fucking out. And it came back, and then went out again briefly, and then it came back, and everything seemed fine. I didn't run a speed test. I should have. I did ping the Twitch servers. There's a program you can use to ping those to decide which server you're going to use. And it told me, because I'm in between Virginia and Georgia, and sometimes Virginia is a better ping, and sometimes it's Georgia. So I went with Georgia, and that seemed fine. I didn't run a speed test. Now, of course, y'all know that speed test isn't necessarily great. It isn't like the end-all be-all, right? It is a very short little sample, but you get a general sense of how things are. After the stream on Thursday, and let's go to the overhead, and we'll do some Lego here. Oops, got to move my keyboard out of the way. We'll do some Lego, and I'll talk about it here. So a thing that happened after the stream, after I uploaded, I went and did a speed test. Now, my Wi-Fi is pretty good here. It's not close to the room that I'm in. I have the Wi-Fi booster, and we'll talk about it in a second, but I haven't been using my Wi-Fi booster because my Wi-Fi booster was disconnecting sometimes, and then it would reconnect. And what was happening was it would disconnect 10 or 20 times a day, which would mean that my and because I'm using a thing that makes it so that my bit rate drops, the bit rate would drop to 0 and then come back, but I wouldn't disconnect, which is great. Well, I don't want to use my booster if I don't have to these days. I'm using my booster basically for uploading, because my upload is like 10 and my download just on regular Wi-Fi is like 70 or 80. So like not the best, but good enough, right? It's like totally serviceable and totally fine. Well, and my booster, I get to like 11, 12 on the upload, but it's consistent. And the booster puts me at like a lot. I forget the exact number, but my download speed is way higher than my upload speed when I'm using my booster. It really just does that. It's supposed to be more stable, but it really does help with the downloads, which is nice. My download at like 11:30 p.m. last Thursday was 8. And the regular Wi-Fi usually is 70 or 80, like I said, maybe even 60, but usually better than 8. And I don't need much to download when I am streaming out to you. I need chat to load, and I need my preview, which I keep my preview at 480p because I don't need my preview to look sharp. I just need it to load. So I can, and anything lower than that, and it's blurry, and I don't want that. So it was 8. So my problems last Thursday were that the dashboard couldn't stream the video fast enough and would constantly choke out so I would have to refresh it. But my download was so bad that refreshing it caused it to stop responding, and then the bitrate would drop because the bitrate was dropping because that was happening. Apparently on Friday, they flushed the DNS, which they were going to do on Thursday and then didn't. And that apparently had a dramatic improvement in signal for everybody. So I don't use my booster anymore for when I'm streaming. But I do use it when I'm uploading and downloading like big files. Because even if like I'm downloading a big file and I get a disconnection, it'll connect right away and continue those files because I'm using file managers, right? I'm not downloading huge files off websites. I'm using tools to download those big files off of websites. So I don't have to worry about that. So that was why Thursday happened the way it did. And my apologies. I was just getting so frustrated. I know I was not a fun version of myself. So I do apologize for that. But things have been solid. I streamed out in my Discord, one of the Discords I'm in, not our Discord, but one of the Discords I'm in. I streamed out some wrestling this weekend, and it was fine. And there was like one little blip where it wasn't great. That was like rebroadcasting something that had been streamed. So I was streaming on my end, download, and then uploading it at the same time, or slight delay, of course, and that was fine. So that was real nice and made me feel way better about that. And I ran some tests today. I ran I did the Twitch test thing, and that seemed fine. I didn't have any disconnects. That doesn't let me see what's going out, so I couldn't really test that download, but everything seemed okay. So hopefully everything will be right. Knock on wood. I got some wood table right there. Knocking on a wood table. That we're good here. And my apologies again for my vibes on Thursday. Especially because I was like, I'm not streaming on Saturday. So like I really did very much want to like complete a stream and have it be a good time since I was taking Saturday off. And it wasn't the best time. So my apologies for that. I don't always have great days. Some days are bad technology wise. And of course I was stressed because I was taking Saturday off, and I was stressed because of course I was, I had my internet out for a good chunk of the afternoon, evening, and I was like, oh, is it coming back? And then it came back, and then again, it went out again, and then I was like, oh, but it came back. Oh, I'm doing this. And so I was definitely frustrated on Thursday, so my apologies once again. I don't know, hopefully not see rapid repeats of that. I've been building this, and I haven't even talked about it. This is the Lego Ferrari 812 Competizione. I believe that is how I'm supposed to pronounce it. It could be Competizione, but I think it's Competizione. And so my apologies if I am not pronouncing that correctly. I also misspelled it on Thursday night after the stream when I uploaded the photo of the work in progress, and that made me annoyed that I spelled it wrong. So that was an annoying thing. But yes, the Competizione. Or Competizione. But either way, it's a very fast, cool Lego car. Lord Crashin is on a 135 stream streak, which is so many streams. That's wild. Thank you for watching. Thanks for watching what I do. Let's talk about wrestling. I had a mutual friend who's also a streamer that knew I was taking Saturday night off and asked me, do you think the show was worth taking the night off? Because, consistency is king. Consent and consistency are both king. And I said, yes. Full Gear was very fucking good. I think some of the build was bad. It was too long. That is the hill that I will die on. AEW, stop doing so many, less matches, AEW. 12 matches for pre-show, 8 on the main card is too many matches. It's just too many matches. Yes, they're all good, but some of them could have been a main event on your show Dynamite. They would have been big main events that people would have tuned in for. Or a main event on Collision and you give it a half an hour. Sure, that could have been that. Or, I don't know, at least one of these could have been on your next pay-per-view, which is in a month and change. But it was a lot of wrestling. It was good wrestling, with some minor exceptions, but it was a lot. Let's go through it. Pre-show. 2 matches in the pre-show were not even mentioned on fucking Rampage, their C-tier show. 3 matches in the pre-show, 2 just mentioned in tweets. Anna Jay defeated Deonna Purrazzo in one of the matches that it was a match. I think both of them are accomplished wrestlers. I think Anna Jay has had leaps and bounds improvement, and a major element of that is that her time in Stardom, which was brief, was still long enough for her to get some fucking confidence in her wrestling. And it was great to see. Deonna Purrazzo is in a stable with Taya Valkyrie. And they shouldn't be losing on pay-per-view. It's a brand new stable, unless this stable is supposed to suck ass. And I don't think it is. I don't think the Vendetta is supposed to suck ass. But you know what? Losing in a pre-show match on a pay-per-view, even after you cheated a bunch, is bad if you are trying to build a faction or stable up. That's bad news. We had a 4-way fight, Buddy Matthews versus Dante Martin versus Commander versus the Beast Mortos. Again, maybe the Beast Mortos should be winning since he's in a faction and that don't win that often. Maybe he should be winning some matches. That being said, this was just 4 great wrestlers doing great wrestler shit. This is an incredibly enjoyable match. I have no complaints over the content of it. I think it was really well done. Buddy Matthews is the least accomplished member of his stable, but that is not say that is still he's still really fucking good at wrestling. He's just very good at it. The story of the match where the small flippy guys were trying to be small and flippy and the big bruiser guys were trying to stop them from being small and flippy. It is a simple story told very well. I very much enjoyed it. Maybe that was like a minute too long of a match. Maybe. Big Boom AJ with Big Justice, that's his son, and the Rizzler, unrelated, defeated QT Marshall with members of the Ace of Space Academy, which is a training academy that he works at. Not the Nightmare Factory, another one. Via pinfall. The Rizzler was the special guest timekeeper. He did the Riz face quite a bit, and they kept cutting to him doing the Riz face. This was fun. It was fun. Legitimately reportedly, Big AJ, Big Boom AJ, I should say, not Big AJ, Big Boom AJ, reportedly was injured. He injured his ankle during the day, that day, and wrestled on an injury because he didn't want to let people down. And that's some fucking wrestle brain right there. You could maybe tell on a couple moves that he was it didn't necessarily seem like it was a story of the match. It just seemed like he was gassed and blown up. But yeah, he's apparently working through an injury because this was the joke I made. Some people there that his body was just like, hey, we don't do this anymore. What the fuck? His body was just rejecting the very idea that he was wrestling after so many years. The Rizzler was walked to the ring by special guest commentator Paul White. No BS Paul White, formerly known as The Big Show. The Big Show walked this young boy down to the ring. And then the Big Show was like, hey, because it looked like QT Marshall was going to attack the Rizzler, which is that's a sentence I just said, but it looked like the Rizzler was going to get attacked or intimidated. But don't worry about it, because Paul White was like, no, which is very silly and fun. And then also in that match, while the referee was distracted by the heels distracting the ref, we had a spear by Big Justice. Big Justice speared QT Marshall. And QT did QT's job. He sold like hell. It was fun. Crowd, legitimately, I am not joking when I say that crowd popped bigger for the Rizzler than they did many wrestlers on that card. The Rizzler is over, brother. AJ, I guess, apparently said that he wants to do it more. He wants to wrestle more for AEW. So sure, I guess he should. And that was basically the pre-show. The pre-show, and this is the thing that AEW has recently started doing, which I think is fucking phenomenal. It's so good what they're doing here. So there's still time left in the pre-show. The pre-show, which is free, it's on YouTube, and a bunch of people tuned in because the Costco guy, the older Costco guy, was going to wrestle. That's weird. We'll tune in for that, right? So before the pay-per-view starts, where you pay up to watch it, they did the introductions for most of the four teams in the tag team match, the four-way tag team match. Outrunners, Kings of the Black Throne with a live band, and the Acclaimed all come out, and then Private Parties comes out on the main show. They come out to Shots, their original theme. They have a new theme that people don't like as much. They come out to Shots. It's fucking cool. That was so goddamn smart. They've done it before. This is not the first time they've done it. It's so fucking smart, because you're just like, well, who are all these teams? What, I gotta pay to see them? Okay. Like a live band play and the Kings of the Black Throne coming out looking all fucking nightmarish. And then the Outrunners come out and you're like, what is this? And why do I love it? And then Max makes you unhappy, because that's what they do. And in fact, outside of the fact that Private Party won and retained their titles, which I was a little worried they weren't going to, the story of the match was that the Acclaimed should definitely break up because Max Caster sucks and Anthony Bowens is too good for him. Max Caster does not deserve Anthony Bowens. There was trouble in paradise among that team, but the story of the match at one point just became these two guys, am I right? And that sucks, because it kind of took the wind out of the match and kind of, again, overshadowed Private Party in a way that I did not appreciate. I don't know if the time will come ever for the Outrunners. I do not know if the Outrunners will ever end up making it. I just don't know. Yes, Private Party did retain. They are not a transitional champions, which is excellent. The Outrunners rule, and the gimmick works. And I do think someday they should hold the tag team belts. But I don't think it should be now, because I'd like to see Private Party hold those belts for a while, go on a tear, lose sometime next year. I'd much rather see like FTR turn heel on the Outrunners, something dumb like that, and put them over, something like that. But yeah, it was good. There were still good spots in it, but it just didn't hit me that hard. MJF defeated Roderick Strong by submission in a match that was too long. This could have main evented a Dynamite. It could have opened a Dynamite. This did not need to be on the pay-per-view. This story is boring. The only interesting part of the story is it is leading to Kyle O'Reilly being very mad at at Adam Cole, which is sort of interesting, but also sort of not interesting. And I just don't know. I guess I'm supposed to care, and it's very hard to care about this. And here's one way to fix it. Here's one way to not to fix it, to adjust it. One way to increase my careability in this particular matchup would be if Adam Cole would stop using self-tanner so poorly. Yeah, you know what, Lord Lacraston, it could have been email. Now, it could have been a main event, and it could have been not on the pay-per-view. Adam Cole looks like he has jaundice. Now, he was severely injured, and I'm glad he's back. Happy he's back. But, like, you could see where the line is, where he stops doing it. You can see the line. Sometimes when he, like, wrestles, you can see, like, his pants sag a little bit, and you go, oh, you don't even do the coverage, right? He just looks unwell. He looks very unwell, and I don't like that. I would like, because Chugs, Adam Cole, I would like him to be well and to live well, and to not be in such a sad state. It just looks terrible. It just looks really bad. And I'm tired of looking at Adam Cole looking so poorly. I need him to fucking figure that shit out. And hopefully he will. Be great if he could. All right, now where do you connect though? This piece goes, this connects like, does it connect like this? Can't tell. Okay, yeah, it connects like that. All right. Sorry, I was a little confused here. Yeah, it just looks bad, and I don't like it, and I would like him to. And also, this story I don't care about. I don't need. If this leads to Kyle O'Reilly and Roderick Strong tagging together, I am on board because they are a phenomenal tag team, and they work really well together. So if that happens, I'll be on board. But I don't know what's going to happen with this. I would just like Adam Cole to turn heel, because he's a better heel. I don't know. It's just bad. If he was a heel, then him having terrible spray tan would be fine. Mercedes Moné defeated Chris Statlander by pinfall for the TBS title, retaining her TBS title, in a match that might be my favorite match of the night. In top contention, certainly. There's a result that comes later that is the best result of the night. That is a long overdue result that I am thrilled about. So I'll tell you about. But as far as match quality goes, I thought Mercedes versus Stephanie Vaquer was her best match in AEW. This is better. This is better than that match. This is Mercedes' best match by far in AEW, and one of Chris Statlander's best. It was so fucking good. Power versus cunning, just like excellent moves. Ending got a little scruffy, but like still very fucking good. Top tier. Honestly, I want him to run it back. I want Chris at World's End against Mercedes. My guess is that Mercedes will be defending her title at against whoever wins this big tournament they're doing early next year, with Ring of Honor, AEW, CMLL, and New Japan / Stardom. There's going to be a big tournament. My hope is that Athena wins the whole thing, and that Athena goes at, because she is representing Ring of Honor, and that she goes after Mercedes, because I really want to fucking see that match. And that's where you have Mercedes lose. But maybe we won't see that. But that's my big hope. I would like to see Mercedes versus Athena, because I think that would be fucking great. Jay White defeated Hangman Adam Page in a match that is just shy of 20 minutes that was fucking really good. Now, could this match have been a main event of a Dynamite? Yes, even though it was excellent. This could have main evented a Dynamite and been totally fine. It does have some shenanigans that we'll see later in the night happen with that. That needed to happen, kind of, I guess, but not really. I'm okay if those shenanigans didn't happen. Great match. I think either man could have won, and it would have been fine. It's funnier that Hangman lost. That's a funnier outcome, that he just can't fucking beat Jay White. I think that's cool as hell. Solid. This was a solid one. Can't complain about it. Kyle Fletcher defeated Will Ospreay in a match that, again, could have main evented an episode of Dynamite. They could have given this match they could have done it on Dynamite. Would have been, I think, just as good. Did not need this to be on the pay-per-view. Really solid match. Right result. Kyle Fletcher's got to be able to beat Will Ospreay. Like, that has to happen, and then we see where the story goes from there, especially because we're doing stuff where we don't have... we have to keep Will Ospreay out of the main event picture, and this is a good way to do that, because I do think it's... I don't think it's Darby. I don't think Darby is going to beat Jon Moxley. I think it's Will Ospreay. And I think that makes a lot of fucking sense. Because it seems like Darby's in the Continental Classic, and I don't think he's going to win the whole thing. So that'll give him room for World's End to have his title match. Because I think he's going to get... there will be shenanigans in the Continental Classic, even though there shouldn't be shenanigans in the Continental Classic. But I think he's going to get beat up before the Continental Classic and, like, not win enough to make it. That's my big prediction there. Also, I don't know why Darby's there. Yes. I am going to allow that. Yes. Darby is an abuser and a complete total piece of shit. You are totally right, Na Davis. Yes. We don't often talk about... We do talk about the realities of these professional wrestlers, and I often talk about the storyline stuff, and I don't always talk about the other elements of the characters, and I probably should be better about that. But yes, in real life, Darby sucks, and also, to me anyway, even beyond, we'll say that, he sucks. I don't want him to be the guy with the belt. But just beyond that, he can't cut a fucking promo that sounds believable. And I kind of need... If you don't have a manager, you have to talk. If you can't talk, you need a manager. And that's just my vibe. So the idea that he's even being, like, penciled in for a championship run is really incredibly disappointing. And I hope that that's a red herring and he's not actually the guy that does it. But it feels like him losing to Moxley, which gave Moxley the opportunity to face Bryan, it means that Darby is going to eventually win the belt. But I think it should be somebody else. Darby finished up the pay-per-view by driving his car, into Jon Moxley's truck. The Death Rider's truck. And apparently, he did it. It wasn't a stunt driver. He did it. Because Darby is an idiot. There's just no reason for that. There's legitimately no reason for the company of AEW to be like, yes, you should be the one behind the wheel that does this. We shouldn't have a stunt driver do it. It was funny when he said, "Where are you fucking going?" as they all fled from the guy that hit a car with his car. I thought that was kind of funny and probably should have been the end, but then he tried to get on the top of the truck and he couldn't. Maybe because he had fucking had whiplash. Yeah. So, Davis, the thing I'll say about Darby as far as wrestling goes is he's a good wrestler. you don't see it. On occasion, you see him when a match calls for it. You see Darby Allin be a good wrestler because he is skilled. He has an amateur background. He can do the graps. It's just that his style is Daredevil. He's a stunt Daredevil, self-inflicted pain style wrestler. So when he does pull out those moves, it is meant to be like, hey, here's the surprise. Yes, he sticks to the deathmatch, the pain stuff, and when he does bust out, like, oh, well, he knows counters to moves. He can do, oh yeah. It is impressive. It's just that he could probably do a bit more of that. But in general, also, again, he sucks and he shouldn't be world champ. I'm starting to think he won't be. I'm starting to think now that because Moxley has to have one more title defense before he drops it. Probably. That's my guess. So if Darby's the next guy, then it's not Darby, and that means that it'd be the one after that. I think that's Will Ospreay. I do want to get this in, so we will stop talking about Darby for a bit, but he'll come up again. Don't worry. Daniel Garcia defeated Jack Perry to become the new AEW TNT champion. Our only title change of the night. They did it. All throughout this match, I was like, the story has been right. This has to happen. If this doesn't happen now, it's never happening. Is Danny forever going to be the guy that just fucking loses all the goddamn time? And the story is always they build him up, because that has so much diminishing returns, folks. At a certain point, everyone will just be like, well, no, you're a loser. You lose the big one. Like, yeah, you got heart. Yeah, you've got skill. You're fun. You're a good promo. People like you. But, like, you lose all the time. And eventually, the crowd turns on losers. And then you have to turn heel. And then the crowd will boo you and then will you back to being a babyface. But, like, what if instead of that, he just started winning matches and he won a fucking match? He finally did it. Now, New Japan kind of tipped this. He also wrestles for New Japan, Jack Perry. And they were promoting a match he has next month in the US and a match he has in January. And the promotional photos they had for this for those matches, Jack Perry did not have the TNT title in those photos. Now you could say, well, Pat, doesn't that just, they don't always have those kind of photos. So like it could be anybody that they're doing this about. So like that's not the most, that's not perfect indication that he's going to lose that belt. Except that Takeshita was in photos holding the belt, his belt, the international title. And he's not defending those. Because another thing people said was like, well, if he's not going to be defending the TNT title, then he wouldn't be holding it. It's like, but they have the other guy who's not defending his belt holding it. So it was tipped his hand a little bit. I still thought maybe it's just a mistake. But no, Danny Garcia is a champion. Very happy for Danny. Hopefully he's in the Continental Classic. Hopefully he'll win more matches. Because his story in the Continental Classic last year was he won one match. It was a moral victory. He won once. And it was like, why is that? Why are we doing this? Just have him win some. But hopefully he'll win some matches. I don't think, look, there's a world where Danny Garcia wins and keeps winning and then beats Okada in the finals and becomes a dual champion. I don't think that's happening, but it fucking could. We'll talk about that in a bit. The Continental Classic. There's so many good wrestlers in this. There's so many good wrestlers, and there's a bunch that are good but will lose. I don't have this up. So Continental Classic 2024. Let's see. There it is. But yeah, there's a ton of good people in that. Anyway, that match ruled. Takeshita defeated Ricochet. That match was fine. Again, that match got added via that match I think got added on the web again. It not even on one of the nights. That they could have postponed Takeshita versus Ricochet to the next pay-per-view. They didn't need it to be on this card. It was still good. I'm not complaining about a high quality match from high quality wrestlers, but yeah, it didn't need to be there. Bobby Lashley, being accompanied by MVP and Shelton Benjamin, defeated Swerve Strickland with Prince Nana by technical submission. This match maybe was a minute too long. It was the second shortest match on the main card. It was just slightly shorter than MJF versus Roderick Strong, and a couple minutes longer than 10 seconds longer than the 4-way tag match. I think this match could have been shaved down. It was good, but also this was a long pay-per-view, and just eventually the crowd kind of lost it, and they knew they had big shit coming later, so I think the crowd was kind of dead for this. Bobby winning is the right result. You don't have Bobby Lashley losing his first pay-per-view match in the company. I think Swerve looked great. I think Swerve can certainly eat a loss here. I think he's going to win the war. He might have to recruit some soldiers for this war, but I think it's possible that he can win the war here. Maybe with some other people that have been attacked by the crew or something like that. I don't know. I don't know what they're going to do with it, but they have places to go with it if they want to go places with it. Yeah. And Swerve's not at the top of the card right now. I don't love that, but I get it. You can't always be at the top of the card. There's a lot of people that should get their chance to shine, so I understand it. But I think that's a good place to be. I think Swerve Strickland is a guy that you figure out something to do with. You don't have him take a show off. So, yeah, solid. And then our main event, the 12th match of the night. Just such a weird thing to be able to say about this. Jon Moxley retained his AEW World Championship despite it being in a briefcase that I don't think that belt can fit in, by defeating Orange Cassidy. That match did not need to be 19 minutes. It did not need to be 19 minutes. That result was obvious. There were a couple moments where they got me, where it fucking really did look like this was going to happen, where there was some shenanigans with some bullshit people doing bullshit things. Willow returned. Willow Nightingale has been on the injury list. She got injured, but she's back to take out Marina to kind of even the score. We didn't see Mark Briscoe, but most of the conglomeration were there helping out. I could also see Mark Briscoe being somebody that does well in this tournament. We'll get to the tournament later. In the end, yeah, Moxley wins. It was pretty much guaranteed Moxley was going to win. More beatdowns. Christian almost cashes in his guaranteed contract, which and then doesn't because Jay White fucks him over, because Jay White is still mad at Christian for previous things. Shenanigans come afoot. That was fucking good. Hook didn't come out to stop Christian, which I kind of thought might happen because they're feuding, but that didn't happen. Lots of shenanigans. I watched Rampage today, and I really want a John Silver and Mark Briscoe feud. Yeah, that could work. I would love a singles run. Alex Reynolds was injured, and of course, I never wish injury on people. Never. Alex Reynolds was injured, and I thought maybe they would have John Silver wrestle some singles, but instead they just had him tag with Uno, which is fine, because I love Evil Uno. Don't get me wrong. But I was like, ooh, the possibility of a singles push for John Silver. They're never going to do it. They're never going to give... the Beaver Boys are never going to win the tag belts. The three of them are never going to win the trios belts. John Silver will never win a belt in AEW, and that is a fucking shame. A lot of people have to fucking get hurt or quit for John Silver to have a shot at winning a title, and that fucking sucks. He'd have to go into business for himself on like a climb the ladder and just climb it. That fucking sucks because he's got so much good shit. And then there was the hit and run. Overall, again, really solid pay-per-view. We had a phenomenal title change, a long overdue title change. Finally, my boy got that belt. Congratulations to Danny Garcia and Daddy Magic, his friend. That was really great. Jay White versus Hangman Adam Page was awesome. Mercedes versus Chris. Again, probably my favorite wrestling match of the night. Favorite moment is, of course, Danny winning the belt. I got to give it to my boy Danny. Having... also on the night, I didn't mention it because it was not a match. Mariah May finally had her champagne. She won it fucking all in, but has just been dicking around. But she had her champagne celebration with Mina Shirakawa, and then attempted to turn on Mina. Mina saw it coming, attacked her. Mina has a big old goose egg on her face, on her head. They went through a table. It fucking ruled. That's the next feud. Why did that happen? Why did she do that? We don't know. Because Mariah May, of course, is going to turn on everybody. She hates everybody. That was a cool moment. Mina Shirakawa is fucking over as hell. And that'll be a good match. And I assume that's World's End. And I think that is a fine match for World's End. Maybe it'll be on a Dynamite or a Collision, but I'd like to say that that'll be a pay-per-view match. So overall, really solid, good setup for other stuff. Excited for Thanksgiving. Not excited for figuring out when the fuck I'm going to watch Collision and Rampage, because Collision and Rampage are not on their normal times this weekend. Rampage is not on Friday at all. It's actually going to be on Saturday. Collision starts at 4 p.m. Eastern on Saturday because of hockey and basketball, respectively, and also getting out of the way of the Survivor Series because they think they're going to get fucking trounced. But Collision is on at 4 p.m. until 6 p.m. Eastern, and then Rampage is on 6 p.m. until 7 p.m. Eastern. So I can't even really watch the replays because the replays won't be happening at the normal time because they will have the basketball thing live. So I won't even be able to watch that. I don't know when I'm going to watch it. I guess I'm going to watch, I don't know. I'll check them out later. I'll just watch them on the website. But that's annoying. I'm probably going to watch Survivor Series as it happens because I do like Survivor Series. I'll watch most of Survivor Series because that's starting at 6 p.m., and then I'll just do the stream like I was going to do the stream and just miss the very tail end of it. I won't know who won War Games, which most likely is the main event. Did want to mention the Continental Classic, which is starting up this Wednesday on the pre-Thanksgiving Dynamite. We got the first matches of the Continental Classic. We can say who is in the Blue League, which is on Dynamite, and the Gold League, which is on Collision. The Blue League is Shelton Benjamin, Mark Briscoe, Kyle Fletcher, Danny Garcia, The Beast Mortos, and Kazuchika Okada, who is the current Continental Champion. And over on the Gold League, we've got Darby Allin, Claudio Castagnoli, Brody King, Will Ospreay, Ricochet, and Juice Robinson. So, Beast Mortos is the person that will maybe not win a single match in the Blue League. And over for Gold League, again, there could be shenanigans where Darby Allin just doesn't win anything because even though they're not supposed to be cheating, they'll still find a way to cheat. Or it could be that Ricochet just doesn't fucking win. But somebody's got to lose a lot for these tournaments to work right. So, and I don't know who it's going to be. I don't know. My assumption is Okada will retain until the finals, and he might win the finals, but he's gonna keep his belts until he makes it to the finals. That is my guess. So I don't know who he faces in the Gold League. Will Ospreay makes a lot of sense. Claudio Castagnoli kind of makes sense. Darby makes a lot of sense. Darby doesn't need a belt, but Juice Robinson I think is a long shot. Ricochet, Brody King. Honestly, Brody King would be fucking wild. Brody versus Okada is fucking a wild idea for a matchup. Mostly with this Continental Classic, it just means we're getting all of these matches, and all these matches are going to be great. Shelton Benjamin versus Mark Briscoe. What the fuck? Kyle Fletcher versus Danny Garcia. The Beast Mortos versus Shelton Benjamin. What the fuck? What is that match going to be? There's so many good, weird possibilities for this night. The belt being on the line during the tournament was Eddie thing. I can't see Okada doing that. Well, no. So what I'm saying is, Lashbrook, Okada is in the tournament, which means that if he doesn't make it to the finals, he loses the title. So he can lose and not qualify. It's not that the other belts were an Eddie thing, because Eddie made it a Triple Crown. If Eddie hadn't made it to the finals and won the whole thing, he would have lost out on the Ring of Honor World title, and he would have lost out on the world title, and he would have lost out on the never open weight strong title. But the belt is on the line. Okada, if Okada doesn't make it to the finals, he does not have the belt anymore. Each match 20 minutes, as incumbent Continental Champion, Okada has been awarded automatic entry to the tournament. And then Garcia, after Full Gear announced that he was entering himself in, and then everybody else we found out in video form. I could see Okada versus Will Ospreay in the final. But yeah, it's pretty much guaranteed that it's going to be Okada, because I don't think the second year of the tournament they're going to do the champion didn't make it to the finals. So I think it will be Okada versus. Honestly, anyone in the Gold League outside of Darby would be cool as hell. But I imagine it's Will Ospreay versus Okada. And then Will is a champion, mid-card champion again. Leading into him, having to drop that belt next year so he can go after the world title. That makes the most sense to me. I just think this is going to be a cool night, so I'm excited for it. Or a cool tournament, because I like a tournament. And this is a good one of those tournaments. Let's see. Good, different wrestling styles. Love that. A couple things to talk about here. The motion caption workers at 2K, 23 employees in Petaluma at the 2K's motion capture studio have successfully voted to unionize as part of the IATSE. This is the first motion capture studio in the United States to vote to unionize. They have not yet to be recognized, but they have voted in favor of the unionization. And again, this is the first time that has happened for a motion caption studio, and that fucking rules. So they've unionized with the International Alliance of Theatrical Stage Employees. They had to vote last Friday. 15 workers, that's 71%, voted in favor of the move, and 6 voted against. And then 2, I guess, abstained from voting. And of course, last year they voted to unionize. And 2K said, hey, we respect unions, but like, maybe that's not the right way to go about it. Which is, of course, the calling card of motherfuckers. That is the international calling card of pieces of shit. Is we just don't know if that's the right move. Like, is that the right way to go about it? I think I put these on wrong, so hold on. But yeah, that is the calling card of stupid motherfuckers. Did I put these pieces on wrong? I did put these on wrong. I gotta see how I did this. I did this wrong, and I have to fix that. Okay. Yes, I did this wrong a while ago. And this just looks wrong. So that's fun. Yeah, okay. Yeah, all right. I did this wrong. I'm fixing it. No, this is the Ferrari Competizione. It does have a lot of yellow, but that's internal and you won't really see it that much. That's just a thing that Lego likes to do, where they like to put colors in that you won't see because they're going to be buried. Other than like these yellow we might see, but all this yellow we won't see in there. So the final car will not have as much yellow as you can see in the photo above. Just a little bit for highlights. So we will see that when we get in there. But yeah, I definitely fucked up the pieces there, but I have fixed my mistake. Hooray! Congratulations to the workers at 2K. I hope other motion capture studios also unionize. And the union in Barcelona, Ubisoft's Barcelona studio, multiple unions. This is French and Italian staff at Ubisoft went on strike. And now Barcelona is suing. They're not doing a strike. They're doing a lawsuit. This is all about the return to office mandate that Ubisoft is putting into all their studios, which has gone over not so good with lots of people. Lots of people who perhaps were hired knowing that they were nowhere near those offices. And their attempts to negotiate has fallen on deaf ears from Ubisoft. So, they are a support studio, and they followed suit in October, which is about a month after. The unions, these are multiple unions, are teaming with Spain's labor group, the CGT, to demand Ubisoft reverse the return to office policy. And they want a new agreement. Let's see. Prior to filing the lawsuit, management did not approach them to negotiate, despite their willingness to bargain. They just did it all or nothing, I guess. The further claim that the R2 choice was made suddenly and without transparency would lead to logistical problems as a result of influx of returning workers. Because another thing that happened is Ubisoft, like many companies of their size, closed some offices and did a hiring boom because work from home is far fucking cheaper for them. So and now if everybody returns to the office, logistically, that's a fucking nightmare. Hooray! Let's see. There have been a bunch of strikes in France, as I said. Ubisoft Milan went on strike. And this is Ubisoft Barcelona is, again, they did not do strike action. This is them doing a lawsuit. They are the first studio to sue. But they are not the first lawsuit that Ubisoft has been dealing with this year. They're very good at acquiring lawsuits. They're honestly pretty incredible at it. Let's see. And then one more gaming news story. If you have a PS5 Pro, hell yeah! I hope you're really fucking enjoying it. You can, obviously, it's a PS5 Pro, so you can play Cyberpunk 2077 on it, but there are no plans for them to do any kind of upgrade for it. And I think we're going to see a bunch of these stories where developers who are not solely focused on doing games for Sony platforms are not going to be necessarily putting money and time and effort into shiny upgrades. Especially after they did their big expansion, which again, the last thing they're kind of doing there. But there were a bunch of enhancements, and it will not be there. The game's Twitter account basically said November, like, no, we're not doing it. They're probably all in on the next Witcher game. And so it makes sense, but I think we're going to start seeing more of that as time passes. We're going to see more older games, high profile games, and I don't blame them. If the adoption rate is incredibly high and there's a high demand for it, and Sony's willing to help with resources, like I could see that leading to more people with it. But right now, seems like that's where we're at with that. Let's see. We'll take a pause for the cause in a moment or two. I'll talk about ways you can support the channel, and then we'll get back into building. We're going to finish this car here, and then also in the stream probably we will get set up for the next thing that I'm building, which was voted by my $10 patrons, and was supposed to be the next thing that I built. But then a wrist fan bought this off my Amazon wish list, and I was like, well, now I gotta build this first, because that's what happens if you buy something off my wish list. It jumps the queue and becomes the next thing I build. So I fucking had to. I'm going to put a sticker on. We still have some stickers left. Don't you fucking worry. We still got some more. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 stickers left. So let's get this one on, and then we'll take a pause for the cause. Talk about ways you can support the channel and all that. So I'm going to put this like this. Yeah. I want to make sure I'm not putting this on upside down. You know what I mean? You know what I mean. I try not to be too bothered with stickers, but, if it's going to be on the hood of the car or the bumper or the front bumper, I want it to look presentable. Not bad. All right, and then that's the hood. Put that on like that. Let's put that over there. And then we can put the hood on. And we can sort of raise the hood, but not really. But it can rock up a little bit. You can look at it a little bit, but it really won't just hang out down there. Cool. We're making progress on this Ferrari Competizione, which we will continue after the pause for the cause. Now, Pat, what's the pause for the cause? Well, person asking question, this is my opportunity to talk to you about ways that you can support the channel. And everything I'm talking about here is optional. You're on no obligation to do any of these things. If you would like to, that would be great. If you don't want to, you don't have to. It's totally okay. But I just have some ways that if you wanted to help me out financially, you could. First and foremost, if you're currently a subscriber to the Build Bear Workshop, you can throw the Bear Cave, the Lego, the site, the Tier 2 blue emote in the chat. Being a subscriber is the easiest, simplest way to support me financially. Through Cash Money or your Prime Gaming token. If you have Amazon and you link it with your Twitch, you get that token. You can use that token for anybody. If you want to use that token for me, your friend Pat, that would be great. I would love that. But you don't have to, obviously. But consider that. Consider joining me on Patreon. Or we'll talk about that in a second. Patreon as well. But yeah, no gifted subs this month. We're currently at 25 subscribers. The goal is to get to 40. I shut up at 40. If you want to become a subscriber, you want to gift a sub tonight, that would be cool. Bits and coins are always appreciated. If you want to join Bayfield on the gifts or on the cheerleader board, you could do that as well. And again, there are other options, and I kind of hinted at that there. I have a Patreon. There's a $1, $3, $5, and $10 tier. There are different rewards for different patrons, different levels there, and different rewards for different tiers. Consider joining me on Patreon. My $10 patrons voted on what I'm building next, which is a model kit that looks fucking cool. So you could get in on that action if you wanted to. Obviously, no, you don't have to, but if you want to, you could. I also have a YouTube channel, youtube.com/Pat Baer. Over my YouTube channel, you can subscribe for free, of course. You can also become a member, and for just $2 a month, you can join in on that, and that will be wild and cool. You will get to see a video a day before anyone else. So tomorrow, you will find out what the fourth and final video in this month's Pat Baer's anime, or not Bear, Kuma Baer, sorry. I forgot the name of my own series, Kuma Baer, where I've been talking about shows that I slept on. I got one more for you to recommend, and we'll talk about that, on Wednesday for everybody else, but for you, it'll be Tuesday, which is pretty neat. And if you don't want to get in on the monthly contributions, I understand you can do a one-time donation to my Ko-Fi or my PayPal. Every little bit helps. I appreciate it. If you would like, through there, you could do that. Everything I make through direct donations, through YouTube, through Patreon, through Twitch, and also watching my videos helps me out through AdSense on YouTube. Goes into a fund, and from that fund, I buy model kits. The next kit that I'm going to be building, the Immortal Justice Gundam. See right there, the background remover is removing it. But this kit, that's what I'm working on next. I bought that kit with your past use generosity. It's helped out current me, which is great. And then future me can benefit from you right now. Now, the kit that we're currently working on, the set we're working on, the Lego set that I am currently building right here, the Ferrari Competizione. I'm building this because Aristofan bought it off my Amazon wish list. If you would like to buy something on my wish list and jump the queue and be the next thing that I work on, you could do that. Go over to my Amazon list, which is right now it is being sorted poorly. Amazon is having issues with the wish list. I can't move any of my stuff up or down on this list, but you can, if you want, you can sort it by whatever you want, like high to low, low to high, and price or priority or whatever. You could do that, and that way you can sort it and see about something that's inexpensive all the way up to stuff that's very expensive. And if you see something on this list that you'd like to see me put together, you could buy it. It'll come to me in the mail, and I'll put it together on stream. It'll jump the queue and be the next thing that I build, because that's the least I could do if you're going to buy something for me to build. That'd be wild and cool. Let's see. So there's that. My alternative to Amazon is to have a throne wish list, see if there's something there you'd like to see me build. You could do that as well. And the most convoluted way to support me is to go to USA Gundam Store. You get a gift card to USA Gundam Store, and then USA Gundam Store, they will send you an email with that gift card code. Then you take that gift card code and you send me a whisper on Twitch or a DM on Twitter or Blue Sky or Mastodon with that gift card code, and I will use that gift card code to buy something from USA Gundam Store. You could even make a suggestion. Be like, oh, I saw this. And that would be great, and I would love that. It's the most convoluted way to support me financially, because you also have to make an account to buy the gift card. So yeah, there's some sales going on at USA Gundam Store, not sponsored, just letting you know. They do have a 20% off sale right now, and all this week for Thanksgiving, so American Thanksgiving. So take a look at that. And they also have some stuff on sale, so you get 20% off stuff on sale. I just bought an Iron Blooded Orphans kit that I didn't build. I thought I had built every Iron Blooded Orphans kit. Turns out I missed one, and it was like the second one that ever came out. It's a grunt that looks similar to other grunts, so forgive me in my defense. It looks very similar. But I just bought that. Who knows when it'll ship, because I bet they have they're going to have issues shipping things. If you want to join my Discord, you could join my Discord. It's a fun place. Support me without spending any money. A couple other things, links for you to check out. Today, I posted a new episode of Pat Baer's Anime Club, where I talked about good anime filler. That's right. Previously, I talked about some bad anime filler. In this case, I talked about some arcs and single episodes of anime where the filler was good. And in one case, it's so good that characters from it ended up in the manga, like way later, obviously. But characters were so good that they became canon. I could do another episode of the good ones, but this one was fun to do. And that way I can also do another episode of bad filler, because there's more bad filler to talk about. And then Kuma Baer is my weekly anime recommendation series, and I'm talking about Re:Zero, which is currently in its 3rd season. Re:Zero is a show that I skipped over at first, because that's what this month's theme is shows that I slept on. And I didn't really like Re:Zero, but I came around on it. And I understand how good it is now, but it took me a while to get into it. So you can watch that video where I go into more detail about that, and maybe give you reasons to check it out. We're going to talk about an anime that normally I talk about on Saturday, but I couldn't because of taking Saturday off. And we'll also talk about an episode of anime that I watched today, and then the episode of Dragon Ball Daima from this past weekend. We'll talk about that on Thursday, along with I'll Become a Villainous. We'll talk about those two on Thursday. But we're going to talk about Dan Dan and Ranma 1/2. And they are oddly enough, they have a theme, like a thematic connection between these two episodes, which is very strange, all things considered. But before I can talk about that anime, I need to drink some water, and we need to dramatically transition back to the overhead camera. So we will do that right now. I should have that be longer. I got to change that. I got to have that song go longer. And maybe fade out, but at the very least, it's got to go longer. I still haven't done that. My apologies. Okay. Let's get back into building this vehicle, and let's talk about some anime. Episode 8 of Dan Da Dan. The one where oh shit, now it is finally a love triangle. Uh-oh. This nerdy dude is in the midst of a love triangle. Look out. So, in previous episode, they fought against Silky, whose powers now seem to be embedded in Ira. And it starts with Momo and Ira and Okarun eating at Momo's house. And Momo's just like, look, I get that you don't like me because I used my psychic powers to hit you with a bathtub. But also, I don't want to be friends with you either. But I'm sorry. And then Ira apologizes to Okarun. And then Ira's just like, you're a demon, so I will defeat you, and I'm going to save Okarun. And everyone's just like, what? No, get out of here. What? Ira leaves, and she's just like, hey, why did you save me, to Okarun? And she's like, well, you needed help. Anyone would save someone who's in trouble, which is very Okarun. That's a very Okarun thing to say. So hell yeah, Okarun. You know in your heart, you're just doing the right thing. Ira realizes that she has developed feelings. Is this a thing because he saved her life, or because he's just a good dude, or whatever? But yeah, she's got the feelings, and she's going to free Okarun from control of Momo, which he's not under control, other than wanting to be her friend and possibly more. That she doesn't have any control over him. Come on, figure it out, Ira. They put in the gold ball back where it should be in Okarun, which is great. Hooray. Next day they go to school. Momo wants to meet up with Okarun after school, and Okarun's just like, I have other things going on. Momo's friends think that maybe Okarun is seeing another girl, which is a wild accusation to make, but very relatable for high school. Oh, I'm sorry. My anime stuff wasn't up to date, and I posted what I talked about on Thursday. I didn't update that, so I'm just going to put that in chat. Sorry about that. Here are the two shows we're talking about. Sorry about that. I messed up. Usually better about remembering. Anyway, so her friends put a bunch of dumb ideas in his head. She ends up leaving the lunchroom and runs into Okarun, and he is towering over Ira's body, which is very obviously very suggestive and implying that something is happening. We know that isn't, because we immediately flash back, and the reason why Okarun did not want to meet Momo is because Okarun is using all his free time to get buff, because he is trying to be better at protecting Momo, and so he is trying to increase his strength, his regular strength, because maybe that will increase his turbo granny strength when he goes turbo and all that. So he is trying to better himself for the girl he likes. And Ira arrives and immediately tries to kiss Okarun very awkwardly and very weirdly. And because apparently she read a book and this is how you flirt or confess to someone. So she is definitely does not know what the fuck is up, but also is being a fucking weirdo and should fucking calm the fuck down. And not try to kiss a dude that is clearly not interested in kissing you. And that's where Momo came in. Okarun tries to explain what happened to Momo, who isn't having it. Later in the day, Okarun is trying to figure out what to do, and he hears Ira scream and goes to look for her. Because the world got weird. Momo is in a different place. And then a big fucking dinosaur just walks by because they're in a weird spirits or aliens or something is going on. Okarun's just yeah, something is weird. But don't worry about it. Momo and I handled this fine last time, so we'll figure it out again. And then he briefs her about the aliens, which we haven't really thought about too much because we've been dealing with spirits lately. But yeah, those aliens that kidnapped him and Momo and tried to steal his genitals. And because this anime is fucking bonkers, the next thing that happens is a anthropomorphic shrimp shows up. He has boxing gloves on. I love him. Okarun transforms to fight that and tells Ari to leave, and then the aliens show up, and Okarun can't fight the aliens in this form. It doesn't work. So he tells her to fucking run. Hey, can you just fucking run already? Get out of here. Apparently the aliens are just they're not interested in Ira. They are only interested in him. They want to experiment on him because of his abilities, and they want his banana, of course. And I guess they want to try to take his abilities and put them in themselves, which sounds fucked, but that seems to be a thing that they would like to do, which, again, that's not cool. The episode ends with Ira using her hair whip abilities that she inherited. And she's going to protect Okarun. And that episode was fucking wild. It was really good. I truncated it as best I could. It's also been a little while since I saw that episode because it happened on... it was an episode that aired late last Thursday, but I watched it on Friday, so it's been a while since I watched that episode. But it was fucking wild. Cool as hell, but also wild. All right, we want time to get some wheels on this thing. Let's get some wheels on here. Wheels. All right, let's talk about this episode of Ranma 1/2. We start in an ice skating rink. We're at the ice skating rink. with Akane and some of her friends. And she is like, they're like, oh, you should join the club. She's like, I don't think I'm going to join the ice skating club. What she is thinking about mostly is she is looking for, you ended up rewatching Shin Godzilla because the reference in that episode. Oh, nice. Yeah. Yeah, the dinosaur that was there briefly is a bit of a Godzilla reference, it seems like. Okay, so Akane is looking for Ryoga, but obviously in pig form. Pichon, looking for Pichon. Hasn't seen Pichon in a while. Another girl finds Pichon and calls Pichon Charlotte and decides, this is my pig. And then Ranma's there talking with some dudes at a restaurant. They want to know more about the girl version of Ranma, which Ranma is not interested in revealing information about him as a girl. And then the girl carrying Pichon shows up, and Akane confronts the girl. And then a boy who is apparently dating the girl, his name is Mikado, and Azusa is the girl. Azusa's just like, this isn't your pig. I want this pig. Let's have a skate battle. We'll have a skate battle to decide. And apparently, Napair's skating. They are apparently excellent skaters. Seems very weird, but that is what is happening in this story. And then Mikado tries to kiss Akane. As I said, there is a quick thing that is similar to previous the Dan where someone just tries to kiss somebody else. Apparently, Mikado is a fucking womanizer. Ranma stops the kiss that nobody wants. And everybody kind of like goes their separate ways. Ranma's just like, I don't like womanizers. He doesn't necessarily love girls, but he definitely doesn't like womanizers, which is probably just doesn't like that his dad is like that. We have finished this car. It looks fucking rad. Got some extra pieces here. Always nice to have some extra Lego. But yeah, this car is done. It looks cool as fucking shit. It just looks real rad. I'm really digging it. Just good vibes on this fucking vehicle. And I'm going to take a photo of it. Let's see. Ryoga is like, I should be your partner for this skating thing. Akane and Ranma kind of learned. Oh, it turns out both Ranma and Ryoga, they're not great at skating. They're both bad at skating, which is fun. That is a fun bit of business that they are both bad at it. That was just a fun thing. Let's see. Let's take a photo here. All right. We're done with this vehicle. We can move on to the next thing. I'll keep talking about anime. But first, we got to swap over here. Hell yeah. And then we get rid of the car photo because we don't need that anymore. And we can start working on the Immortal Justice Gundam. I won't update yet. I'll update later, but we'll start with that. We unfortunately do start with the head of this kit. So we will have to do stickers immediately, which is not my favorite. This is from the movie. What do you call it? The Gundam Seed Freedom, the movie. So this is a modern kit that came out this year. It does not have any polycaps. It does have some stickers, but not too many stickers, but some stickers. And a bunch of pieces. It's going to look cool. It's another red kit. It seems like I built a lot of kits that are red this year. A honestly surprising amount of kits that are red, but not the worst problem in the world to have. We need F2. We need D1. And we need D1, E1, F2, and A. Okay, A. We need F2 E1. E1, correct. All right, we'll get started on this kit. I guess I should update. I'm not going to update. We're going to leave it at Lego Ferrari because I have to update for tomorrow's stream anyway. Tomorrow's game stream. Hey, tomorrow, the diorama builder. I haven't said diorama out loud in a long time. The diorama builder will be the thing that we are playing tomorrow. We're going to build some digital dioramas. I have bought the base game and some expansions. I have played very little of it, so we will see a lot of it tomorrow, and I will be learning along with all of you about the game. But it looks fucking neat, and I am excited to check it out, which we will, of course, again do tomorrow at 9 p.m. Eastern. So just a little tease there as I begin working on this kit. I need D4. Tiny pieces. We're putting on some tiny pieces here. Do we need any other? Let's see. D4 and then A and A and A and A and then E1. Oh, I need D6. Okay, D1, 6. We'll put that out there. Just make my life easier here. I'm going to pull a lot of these pieces out now. I need E1 or E112. This head is small. There are a lot of small pieces here. Round 1/2. Let's see. Azusa shows up and Mikado runs into Ranma as a girl, and Mikado tries to fucking kiss Ranma. And then Azusa interrupts that. So this dude has tried to kiss two different people without their consent. It sucks. Also, we find out that this duels ice skating thing is also a martial arts competition. Because that's what this anime is. Everybody fucking fights in this anime. So, because they fight 100 hockey players while skating, and it is a fucking cool little scene. It is the action we get in this episode, but there is some good nonsense of them fighting, and they seem pretty solid at it. Meanwhile, Pichan, so this is Ryoga in the form of a pig, is skating. Azusa puts a collar with a lock on it around Pichan, which feels incredibly, that's not cool at all. Mikado kisses Ranma because she trips, and then he saves her and then goes in for the kiss, and he's fucking pissed about it. He's gonna make Mikado pay. He uses his fist to damage some of the goddamn ice. Oh, Lastwork says, I've been thinking about watching Seed Freedom, basically devoid of context, before my Netflix runs out. Yeah, I mean, you could do that. You certainly could do that. That is a thing you could do if you wanted to. Let's see. So Mikado, Ranma fights Mikado, and Mikado, first it looks like Mikado defeated Ranma, and then maybe it's a tie, but really Ranma is definitely stronger than he is, and Mikado passes out. Ranma's like, yeah, I hit him a bunch while he was doing his technique. Yeah, I'm not afraid of him. Ryoga shows up, and he's just like, Ranma's mad because a guy kissed him, which is true. Now, did he want to be kissed? No, that's why. It's not just that he got mad because of that. He got mad because he didn't want it. And that's reasonable. That is a reasonable thing, Ryoga, to be mad about. Totally reasonable to be like, hey, I didn't consent to that. As we said, consent is king. And Ryoga did not, Ryoga doesn't get that. Of course, he hates Ranma, so, I understand. He should want them to win, though, because he knows that, Akane doesn't know that Ryoga is a pig, can turn into a pig, but fucking Ryoga knows that, so maybe he shouldn't want someone he doesn't know to claim ownership over him, but maybe he's unaware of that part of the bet. I don't think he is. I think he knows what's going on. But anyway, it's weird that he doesn't. It's weird that he's not mad about it. but he isn't. All right, let me start. Now that I've got all these pieces out, let's start getting these pieces together. Let's start getting the some of this face done here. That goes in like that. This goes in. This is a very small face. I already said that, but it bears repeating. A tiny face. Come on. So I can finish talking about this episode. I gotta get this chin in. There's the chin. All right. Make sure this is all nice and connected. Oh, I do have to put a sticker on. And I missed an A. I missed the not really that see-through eye sticker here. Or the face part that is going to have the eye sticker. Okay. Ranma. Okay, so Ranma and Akane have a nice little scene. I forgot about this. They have a nice little scene because this was Ranma's first kiss. And Akane is just like, yeah, you can't let your guard down. And this is a very small little line, but I think it's fucking awesome because it's not Akane warning Ranma about like keep your guard up in a martial arts sense. She's warning Ranma woman to woman about dudes being fucking gross and shitty. Like she's like, yeah, no, you have to be aware that dudes are gonna fucking be gross. And seemingly forgiven for that behavior. And it's kind of like this was in the original. This is not a new added scene or anything like that. No, this is just like in the beginning. But now with context of the world, like it's, I don't know, it's a poignant little moment in this episode. And then Ranma and Akane almost kiss each other. And they're like, actually, Ranma's like, maybe we want to save kisses for someone that we have feelings for. We shouldn't just kiss anybody. And it turns out that a bunch of people were there because they wanted to see the kiss. And that leads to people yelling and all that. And then we cut to Mikado, who is swearing that he'll make Ranma pay for hurting him because Ranma fucking whipped his ass. And he'll make Ranma pay. I put these eyes in upside down, and I need to fix that. I put these eyes on upside down. So yeah, again, the moment where Akane is warning Ranma about dudes is poignant, and I think really interesting to see in this episode. Overall, I think it is a solid episode of Round 1.5 and still silly. The idea that a couple of ice skating couple challenged them to a showdown, and it turns out it's also a martial arts fight, is very like within the whole anime. Like it fits so well with the anime. It's not even like a twist. It's just like, oh, of course. Like, of course that the skating couple are also martial artists. Everyone in this fucking world in this anime are martial artists. All right, I need sticker 3, which is this one here. Now is the part of the stream where I want to hear from you, friends. What are you watching right now? What are you playing? What are you up to? What are you into? I always love hearing from you about what you got going on. So if you're up to anything, feel free to let me know. I watched a lot of wrestling this weekend. The normal Friday wrestling, a lot of wrestling on Saturday with the AW pay-per-view, as I talked about earlier in the stream. Sunday, I watched that weekend's Tokyo Joshi Pro Wrestling, which fucking included my girl, Haru, the biggest underdog in Tokyo Joshi Pro Wrestling, who didn't win a match her first year of wrestling last year. And half of her wins this year were in a tournament. She won this tournament. Which guarantees her a title opportunity of her choosing. She immediately decided that she wanted to challenge for the tag belts. And she wanted Toga, the girl she beat, to be her tag team partner. Now that's one, very fucking interesting to me, like, hey, I beat you, tag with me, but still very fun. And two, she wants to beat Maki Ito, and Maki Ito's tag team partner is Miyu Yamashita. And that's awesome because Toga basically just says, yes, I'll do it. Also, if I had won, I was going to challenge for the tag belts anyway, so this is perfect, which is just really fun. That is a fun little bump in the story. That's happening this weekend. I do not expect them to win. There's no way they're fucking winning, but it is very funny and cool. I love the choice of the international title, the world title. No, I want to win the tag belts with a girl I've never tagged with before. I think they've tagged once. I should look it up. I should look it up. They might not have ever tagged together before. But I think that's very fun to be like, I've never tagged with anyone. I've never tagged with you before. Let's go after the tag titles. It was very fun. Great match. The show was excellent. The main event wasn't that great. Shaza versus Yuki Arai felt like it was a bit of slow motion. I think Shaza's had much better matches. I think her time in Japan wasn't that strong because I've liked her when I've seen her wrestle other people. But still, some good stuff. It was also the return of Hyper Misao, who has been injured. Hyper Misao got injured in April at their shows in Philly. And has been on the shelf ever since. She came back. She lost. It was still a really fun match. Still neat. Still happy to see her back. And I hope that she... that is my prediction, who actually is going to beat 1 to 1 million for the tag belts. It would probably be Hyper Misao and her tag team partner, Shoko Nakajima. That is my actual guess. But still, that's going to be fun. The December show is still going to be solid. Still looking forward to it. Yeah, I did a lot of that. I didn't do any D&D this weekend. I think I'm going to be doing something this week with our final session for my crew is apparently going to be this weekend because they have two of my friends have a long weekend due to Thanksgiving. Reminder, I am streaming on Thursday, American Thanksgiving. I will be streaming. We will do my annual tradition of talking about what we're thankful for. And I will talk about all the foods I had. I will have a bit of it won't be a food coma, but I will be feeling it vis-a-vis all of the food that I ate that day. But yeah, I like to stream on Thanksgiving. I think it's fun to do that. So I used to take it off when I would go to a Friendsgiving because I would not be back in time to stream. But since I am here in South Carolina with my folks and we're not going anywhere, so I'll just be in there. Oh, hell yeah. Lord Crashton has Thanksgiving off through Cyber Monday. Nice. Ghost Valve says, finished Arcane Season 2, which Ghost Valve liked. Also, hi, Ghost Valve. Squad Gaming with Helldivers and Deep Rock Galactic. Quick Gaming with Belatro and Windblown. Nice. Yeah, I've been playing a bit I should say that. I've been playing a bit more of Belatro. I had put it down for a while, but with the Game of the Year talk, I was like, I should probably play a little bit more of my Game of the Year. I mean, I still really love it. It's still really fucking good. Okay, I don't know what's going on here, but this piece is not locking in as it should, so I have to figure out why it's not doing that. It's got to look like this. I don't know why this isn't working. I don't want to have to use liquid cement here, but this piece is supposed to keep this is supposed to go like that here. And then this is supposed to clip over it and lock it in place. And it's not doing that. And I don't know why it's not doing that. So I got to figure that out. All right, let me figure that out while I look to see what Lashbrook has said. Lashbrook watched Shin Godzilla again, like you said, and it's still my favorite Godzilla movie, hands down. Also been watching an animated show called Pantheon. It's a cyberpunk show about the AI singularity, except instead of manufactured AI, it is digital consciousness of humanity. It's really good, but like everything else these days, season 1 is on Netflix, and season 2 you can only pirate. Yep. Yeah, I've never heard of that, but it sounds neat. And it did not surprise me when I was reading that sentence. I should say, again, I'm playing a bit of Balatro, and then also I finished one of my least favorite stages in Power Wash Simulator. At some point, it said that it decided that I had never finished the fountain, the gnome fountain, which I definitely did finish before, but it said I didn't. So I had to do it again, and that sucks. But I did. I don't like that fountain because it limits what sprayer you can use and doesn't give you the cool hose. So you have to use a weaker sprayer than I would like. All right. This keeps falling off, but it's on right. It just keeps popping off. So I'm going to be doing a little bit of liquid cement to kind of seal it in there. And we'll try to get this on and move on to a bit of the chest. So I did finish that up. I don't have really anything. And then I've been playing Hearthstone. I got a new cheap ass deck. It is a deck where if you pull it off, you do win. It is a little hard. It's harder than most of my nonsense like if you do everything right, you win decks. This one requires a little more effort, but it's still fun. I should do a Hearthstone stream next month. I just don't know, I will probably do one because I haven't in a while. At the very least, it'll be up for my, for vote, for my patrons about what I do next. All right, we finished the head. We can now move on to the chest. Lordcrest says, I've been watching a lot more One Piece, and it seems like they're doing a bit of power reset or something with the crew getting destroyed after Luffy versus Luffy rescue, yeah. And now he's on Amazon Island, where they're very confused by his generals and think his family jewels are actual jewels. Yes, the Island of Only Women is an interesting arc. It's definitely a thing where, at a certain point, it was like, oh yeah, this show's a comedy. We should have some dumb comedy in it. It's been a while. But yes. Luffy will have an interesting time dealing with those pirate ladies. I said I was playing Hearthstone. What I haven't been playing lately, and I probably will do a little of that this week, is I'll get a little bit more time in with trading card game trading card shop simulator. Trading card game store simulator. Sometimes that name just doesn't come out right. But yeah, I haven't played that in a bit. I have to get back into that because I like that game quite a lot. So, but I just watched so much wrestling this weekend. Not as much. My friend Remy, we know Remy in the chat, comes in. He saw 3 wrestling shows live. In person in New York, and 2 of them were on the same day. He saw the GCW Mall show, and then he went to All In, and then the next day he went to go see Bloodsport. The GCW presents Bloodsport, and that's too much wrestling live. I was like, what? That's wild. And that's bonkers to me. It's just so much wrestling. I haven't seen that much live wrestling in a long time, not since the last Brooklyn SummerSlam, where there were a lot of wrestling that weekend. And I went to a lot of wrestling, and it was fucking cool, but it was still a whole lot. All right, so 14 and 15 go here. Working on the chest of this kit. The agenda for this week: Diorama Builder will be tomorrow at 9 p.m. Eastern. Thursday on Thanksgiving, we will continue to work on this kit. Of course, talk about anime and video games and all kinds of other things. And then Saturday, as usual, probably finishing up this kit. I don't know how long it's going to take to build this. This kit, like all of these Seed Forever kits do not require polycaps, so their builds might be pretty fast, but also I will be doing, panel lining and all that, so that does take a little while to do those things. It has been a fucking while since I did a model kit on stream. I did a Lego set, a big 3-in-1 Lego set, into the Digimon Mega Constructs, into this car, this Lego car you saw right here that we finished up. So I went from Lego to Mega to Lego. So it has been a hot minute since I did a model kit, and I wouldn't put them on my wish list if I didn't want to build them. I wouldn't put them up for, for polls if I didn't want to build them. So it's not like I was mad about it. I was just surprised that when the Digimon won the poll, I was like, oh, okay, well, we just built Lego and now we're going to do this. I'm like, oh, okay. And then when this came in the mail, I was like, oh, wow, okay, yeah, all right, sure. I'll do that. But yeah, I didn't have any Lego to put on my wish list, my voting. Not my wish list. I have plenty of Lego on my wish list, but my poll didn't have it. I do have a Lego set now in my backlog that I picked up because it was on sale, and I have been interested in doing it. It is the Shadow the Hedgehog on a motorcycle Lego set. It should be a pretty quick build, but I was like, well, I do want to get this, so now I have that, and we'll see how that goes. I don't know when I'm going to get to that. Like I said, this will take a little while. I'll have a better idea on Thursday if this is going to wrap up on Saturday or wrap up on Monday. My guess is probably wrapping it up by the end of Saturday because we will have the Thanksgiving stream to do that. Well, I will say this. As we're getting close to the end of the stream, we have a little bit of time left, but not too much. Congratulations. I've had some of my kilobits have been fluctuating there, but we haven't had a big drop. The bit rate has not dropped significantly. I have not had any issues. That is really great. Very, very pleased with that revelation that things seem to be doing okay. Again, I have to just keep an eye on everything. Run my speed tests, refresh the router when necessary, do all that stuff, try to keep up with this. But I mean, this is good news. Hopefully the good news will continue on that regard, as long as I'm using Wi-Fi. But I had zero of the problems that I had on Thursday, and I'm very grateful for that. I haven't had any blips or haven't had any stalls or anything like that. Very happy on all that. Oh, we can zoom in a little bit here. Just a couple minutes. We'll zoom in just a little bit. Really, really glad that is the case right now. Okay, so we need some C parts here. Fit these tightly. All right, we're going to keep working on the chest here. We need A13. Got to get this chest and waist. And then we'll look at a piece that's not a polycap, but is serving the purpose of a polycap. It's a wonder what a good reset can do. Yeah, Lord Crashing. I do keep up on that stuff. I do keep track of that. I do run benchmark stuff here and there, try to keep everything cleaned up. But yeah, sometimes just refreshing my router. Sometimes I reboot the router from the web. I don't even go and physically touch it. And that helps out a lot. But it's also I can't use my Wi-Fi booster anymore for streams. I just can't trust it. I think it's fine for some other, when I'm uploading files. Like I said, uploading files is totally okay, but I can't trust it for running a Twitch stream. Because it just fluctuates too much. It's fine day to day and live streaming YouTube video stuff, but uploading is good because even if it pauses, it's still uploading way faster than if I didn't have it plugged in. But yeah, I can't do it for streams anymore or if I'm sending something out via Discord. Especially if the thing I'm sending out via Discord is something that I'm streaming off of a browser, I can't do that. If it's something that I have like my own connection for, I think it works out all right. It works out fine, but yeah, I'm learning all of it. Learning as I go, figuring out as I do. I just can't trust it. I think it's normal in day-to-day operations. I'm like, oh, that's fine, but like I'll notice like in this in my chat window, it'll say like welcome to the chat room or whatever. And then if I noticed one day I hadn't been looking at the tab, and I looked at the tab and it had like that 6 or 7 times, which meant that my Wi-Fi booster was disconnecting like from my computer and then reconnecting over and over and over again. I was like, well, that's no good. And that's when that bit rate drops. Like that's the same vibe there. So I was like, okay, that's no good. I cannot have that when I am trying to stream. It'll just be real bad. I had a weird internet issue on election day where I got home from work that seemed like a bad omen that didn't get worked out until about 24 hours later. Oh, that's a bummer. It would work fine for an hour and then stop until you reset it. Yeah. Sometimes you can call your internet service provider and you can ask them to flush your connection from their end, and that will make things remarkably better. I have not done that here. I was gonna do that if when I woke up on Friday I was still having like a 10 down, which I had on Thursday. I was like, well, if I still have a 10 down then I'll definitely have to make a phone call, and I don't want to talk to fucking people, but I'll do that if I have to. But luckily, I didn't have to do that. Very happy that did not require me to talk to anyone. All right, I gotta snap this together. I gotta fit this tightly. We'll get that nice and tight, and then this goes in here. And this snaps in. We should have a lot of good movement here by this going in together like that. Yeah. It's a good movement here. That doesn't feel like that tight, but maybe I'll put the back piece. Let me put the back piece on before I start saying this doesn't feel tightly connected. And we'll find out if I did things right. Because usually it's when I go to put a back piece on a model kit that I realize, oh, I did the arms wrong, or the shoulder connection, or I did something wrong because it won't fit together. I did that from their website. That worked fine until I went to bed. Then it was out when I got up, soured my mood. Yeah, that'll happen. Yeah, well, we're paying for the service and we want it to work. So when it doesn't, it can be quite frustrating. For me, it was just that they were like, we're working on the cable and the internet and the phone, and they'll all be down at the same time. And I was like, that's too much. What the fuck? Because when all of it is down, then it's just like, okay, this isn't going to work. Also, while that was happening, I was putting a security update on my mom's iPhone. So she couldn't even use the phone to call and call the service and find out what was going on, which she loves doing. So she had to use my phone to do that, which I thought was very funny. Because I was like, of course, right now as I'm doing this is when there would be a problem, is when I am updating her phone. Okay. We're going to call it there. We've already got the head done and a bunch of the chest. I still have to do a couple more steps with the chest here, and then panel on the chest. And then we'll be able to move on to the arms. So making good progress already on the Immortal, which we will continue working on Thursday. But again, the next stream is going to be on Tuesday. So as I go set up here for a raid, because we always end with a raid, we're going to find someone doing cool shit out there that we want to go spend time with and keep the party going. But I will recommend that you come back tomorrow, 9 p.m. Eastern, for Diorama Builder. It just looks neat. It looks like something I think we should all get in on. Is Mary not streaming? I guess Mary is not. It is Monday. Mary streamed earlier since she has Fire Escape recording tonight before they're out for the holidays. Thank you, Lord Crashton, for the update. We missed Mary Kish, but my friend Jordan, a.k.a. Ray FK, I shouldn't say a.k.a. when I say Ray FK because it sounds like I'm adding to it. Ray FK, also known as Jordan, is streaming, and Jordan doesn't stream that all that often. He is playing Mists of Fildaria. I don't know what that is, so we'll find out together what Mist of Fildaria is. But I do know that Jordan is good people. Jordan took part in, it is on the committee that does Desert Bus for Hope. So we're going to go hang out with Jordan. He's a good people. Sometimes he does Gunpla. He's not doing Gunpla tonight, but we'll still go hang out with him. Feel free to come along this raid. Come back tomorrow for Diorama Builder. We're going to build some dioramas. It looks neat. It's a game that was on sale, and I was like, I don't want to play this. So I'm going to play that tomorrow. Thank you all so much for being here. I hope to see you tomorrow or Thursday for model kit building or whenever. Thanks for watching. I'll talk to you soon. Goodbye, everybody. Goodbye, 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 goodbye.